So, the Superman teaser trailer released, and man, is there a lot of excitement surrounding it. After the first teaser and the teaser, which kind of feels like further future and then further future.
We're from the further future.
Since this kind of came out, I've been getting messages from mostly friends and people that, watch my content and follow me on Instagram and stuff, asking me about what I thought about the trailer. So I figured, why not do a video on this? So let's get into this. I have elements of the trailer that I was like,
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP!
and then there were some that was like,
No! Alright, this is alright, I can't follow what's going on anymore, and I'm assuming the rest of you can't either.
Superman 2025, when it hits theaters, if you're a Superman fan, whether you love the past films or not, will be something that ultimately everyone's going to probably tune in to see. Especially judging from the fact that the trailer reached 10 million views in 6 hours, or even when I was in the countdown for the trailer, there was 117,000 people that were watching the countdown before the trailer. So I mean, it really has a lot of hype behind it. And I don't think I've seen this much hype since Man of Steel, but even then, I think that it's definitely surpassed the hype that Man of Steel had in some ways. It's definitely a great time to be a Superman fan, either way. So getting into the trailer, nothing really says Superman like seeing him beaten down and bloody in an Arctic crater. The trailer starts off showing you something that you don't typically see when it comes to Superman, which is him beaten and bloody, as I just mentioned. The scenes, the backdrop, they seem very similar to Man of Steel in a lot of ways, which I thought was really, really cool. I didn't like the fact that Superman appeared beaten up really, in the first tidbit of the trailer, but I also feel like it kind of did what it needed to, where it was shocking, dramatic, and above all else, it was very attention-grabbing. And so I kind of respect what it, represented and what it was able to accomplish. Throughout the trailer, you see that, this isn't really, the washed-out, desaturated. I mean, that's one of the things that I will say that I really do like about it, is that it has bright colors. It definitely feels more saturated, more just overall well lit and just colorful. And that part I do kind of appreciate about this. And I do feel like it definitely captured this idea of hope while things are kind of popping off, and it's definitely something that was captured in the little bit of the teaser trailer that we saw. There are weak points in this, but dare I say casting is not one of them, in most cases at least. I'm still not crazy about the casting of Lois Lane. All of the other League members are amazing. The casting for Lex is amazing. I really do like the fact too that they made it Luthor Corp instead of Lex Corp or Lex Labs or whatever, they could have made it. So, I mean, I love the idea of it being Luthor Corp. It feels very Smallville inspired in that way, and I definitely appreciate that as a Smallville fan. Ultimately, you can't really talk about the casting without talking about the lead actor, David Corenswet, and I think he is amazing. I think that he does a very good job of portraying this stoic, heart-filled nature of Superman, while still kind of having that almost clueless, just nerdy look that Clark Kent has, within the Daily Planet. But at the same time, you see scenes of him with his father and throughout the, with Lois, and it shows a very, very balanced and real, as far as I think that no person is just two-dimensional in that way, and I think that they definitely captured that in this. As far as the Daily Planet goes, I really love the fact that they brought back the old the Globe Daily Planet, where it has like, it looks almost kind of like the animated series font for the Daily Planet, which I'm really excited to see that. I'm probably even going to use the backdrop for some of the photos that I edit too, because like it's too amazing not to. Either way, I think that one of the strong points of this trailer was hearing that kid calling out Superman and pulling up the flag and seeing the Superman symbol. And I don't know, it's just something about it just kind of sold me on this idea of like the real world needing Superman and needing that like, you know, that desperation for hope. So I definitely really did like that, and I definitely do think that that kind of like pulls on the heartstrings a lot. And I do feel like while it was shown in the Snyder versions, I don't feel like it was as highlighted as it was here, even in the teaser, which, like, you know, really kudos to James Gunn for that. The idea that you kind of won't have this status quo, Lois Lane being in the dark about Clark Kent being Superman, and things kind of going on like that. I mean, they might still show it at some point, like, you know, in the film, but it seems like they're kind of going for Lois knowing who Superman is, which I'm really all for that. I think that it's actually a really good way to go, and it's a good direction. Another thing that I do think that I'm really, really happy about is that we're not getting another origin story, because I'm not sure how many more times I can see Krypton explode. It's almost kind of like up there with watching like the Waynes get shot. Like, I don't know how many more times I want to see these two people get shot in an alleyway. But this film definitely shows Superman being Superman instead of just kind of flying around and lifting heavy things and, you know, saving people. You definitely see that there is so much more, like, you know, going on, and there's a lot of action, and it definitely really highlighted that. So it had some of those Snyder-esque elements, dare I say, with some of the amazing elements of the Reeves Superman movies as well. And that's just from like what I could see in the trailers. I mean, like, the movie, we'll see what happens in the movie overall. I think overall, like, my favorite shot in the trailer has to definitely be this. Like, it's really like chef's kiss, though. So as far as things that I really don't like about this so far, if you've seen my video review on the cosplay suit, which I probably will have that in the description, because I think a lot of people probably will want to dress up as Superman after, like, you know, seeing this, especially if they're a cosplayer. One of the things that I don't like is the Superman suit. I know that it's kind of crazy to say that, but I mean, one of the things that I did kind of criticize was the fact that it was very baggy and loose-fitted. I do feel like maybe they fixed it in post a little bit more, so it's not as bad as a lot of the reveal photos had made it look, which is good, but it still isn't highlighting the great deal of work and effort that was put into bulking up the lead actor for the role. This is kind of like repeat information if you did see the review, so bear with me. But I've been very vocal about the fact that I dislike the suit for different reasons. One of the things that I dislike is the Kingdom Come logo. Instead of that, I would have preferred something a little bit closer to the classic Superman logo. The suit is less form-fitting too, and while I like elements of the Superman suit, such as, like, you know, the colors and that return to, like, you know, the bright saturated colors and the red trunks, I don't like the fact that the suit kind of looks very militaristic and has like a high neckline. It kind of reminds me of the New 52 Superman, which I wasn't really a favorite, like, you know, it wasn't like my favorite design. The suit to me always kind of felt like it really was more like Star-Lord or something from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I know it's James Gunn, I get it. I mean, it even says it in the teaser, so I mean, like, I know what the deal is. But I just feel like it just doesn't really work for Superman. I see it in the boots, and I see it in certain things, which I've seen fan-made concepts that kind of use some of these elements, and they make it look better, and they make it work. And I just wish maybe it was kind of more, like, you know, it was a little bit closer to the classic Superman, but, you know, I'll kind of, like, overlook that to some extent right now. I love seeing Crypto. While I admit I was on the fence when I saw like the real photo and him not looking quite like the comic accurate, Crypto, it still kind of grew on me seeing him in the trailer, and I was really able to overlook it. Like, I mean, I just love the idea of being able to see, like, Crypto. So, I mean, it really didn't bother me as much as much as I thought it was going to originally. Um, I think it would have been nice seeing Crypto help Superman up. I mean, this is just kind of like, feels a little nitpicky, but I think I would have rather seen him, like, help him up rather than dragging him, like, lifelessly kind of, like, in the Arctic. Instead of, like, showing him, like, overcoming the adversity and to some extent, like, looking like he kind of, like, couldn't rise above it. I would have preferred that he just kind of, like, helped him up a little bit and Superman kind of, like, was able to stand on his own 2 feet. These are, like, small things. They're just kind of, like, tidbits that I feel like, I wasn't crazy about. I felt like in some ways it was a very smart decision to use the old school John Williams score. I like that it was reworked in the way that it was. It kind of felt like it was very haunting in a way. And, I mean, overall, I just thought that it was a good touch. At the same time, I do feel like it kind of grew a little bit of a concern where I'm hoping that they're not leaning too heavily on the older Superman films and that they're kind of like trying to establish their own footing, which I feel like James Gunn has been very vocal on the fact that he's trying to kind of pay homage to all of the other past iterations of Superman while doing something completely different. So, I mean, only time will tell. I mean, this was just the teaser trailer, so I mean, we'll see what happens. As far as like costuming across the board, I do feel like most of the costuming kind of could have used a little bit of work. I think that it's great casting. I just think that like the costuming and the hair kind of seemed like it was off. With the exception of Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl, I think that it's like with Guy Gardner, I didn't like the way that he looked. I didn't like the way that Clark's hair is styled when he's Clark Kent in a lot of the points in the trailer when he's in the Daily Planet. But I mean, either way, I mean, I'm sure that these are things that, like, they'll change eventually, and they're kind of nitpicky. I mean, at the same time, I do kind of understand the idea that they're trying to make more of a contrast between Clark Kent and Superman, so I'm trying to not hate it nearly as much as I did when they revealed, like, leaked set photos and stuff like that. Now, I will say this. The trailer delivered in many ways on the hype surrounding it. It definitely got me interested in, like, the film. When I kind of looked at it, I was really, like, when it came to a lot of the reveal photos and stuff like that, I kind of really had, like, more of a lukewarm feeling for it. Overall, though, I do feel like this really created some degree of hype for me as well. I know that a lot of other people were hyped even before this and just hyped just looking at the reveal. I wasn't one of those people. So it definitely does, it definitely felt like the trailer kind of helped that. Overall, I hope that they do manage to fix a lot of the costuming issues that I was talking about earlier in, like, sequels and future movies. Because, I really don't want to see that, like, continually throughout the entire, film series of Superman or whatever, the world that they're building for DC right now, the cinematic universe that they're building. I don't know why, for some reason, that was so hard to say. As far as, what a lot of other people are saying, I know that there are certain people that kind of, are huge fans of Tyler Hoechlin and Henry Cavill, and at the end of the day, they kind of, like, might feel like they want this film to fail. And I will say this, at the end of the day, I do want it to succeed. I may be a fan of past iterations of Superman, but I do still feel like I can embrace the future changes and certain elements of what they're trying to do while still appreciating what was there in the past. So I really do want this to succeed. I don't want it to fail. I'm not one of those people that will sit here and be like, well, it's not Henry Cavill, I don't want to see it. So I mean, like, I do want to see, and I do want to know actually what you guys think in the comment section below. Please keep it respectful, though. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but you are not entitled to disrespecting others. So I do want to hear what you guys think, whether or not you liked the trailer, or whether or not you felt like there were certain parts of it that you didn't like. So overall, I'm curious. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you hit that bell so that you don't miss out on any of the content that I'm putting up.